Hi, this is Jeremiah Desmarais from the Strategic Digital Marketing Broker Bootcamp. And in this series of free training videos, we're teaching agents and agencies to take their business to the next level using digital marketing. First, I want to say thank you for all the amazing questions that I've received from brokers all over the world, literally. Dozens and dozens of questions have been pouring in and they're still coming in, but I had to get this video recorded. I hope that you enjoy the time that I took to pull this together. I got two very special guest bloggers, you could say, who are going to share their insights with you in this series of videos as well. Plus, I have a special guest announcement and an amazing launch update. All right, you ready? Let's get started. Welcome to the rapid fire bonus video. And just a quick launch update, because we've had hundreds of agents join us in just the past couple of days. We've had brokers from over 47 countries download this insurance specific training. Thousands and thousands of agents have been trained, and dozens of new insurance YouTube videos have actually been uploaded and ranked over at YouTube. In video number 1, you learned about YouTube Marketing Mastery, where I showed you one way that one shy broker who had never done it before got over $32,000 in free traffic from YouTube. In video number 2, you learned the LinkedIn leverage strategy that one broker used to get 4 appointments in less than 20 minutes, which will net him, when the commissions come in, anywhere between $8,000 to $10,000. And in video number 3, you learned a stealth email strategy. And just in the first few comments of the folks who use this strategy right away, which takes about 5 minutes to do, we're seeing over $10,000 in commissions from just the first few agents. So really, it's been an incredible launch. Momentum is definitely here, and you should congratulate yourself for being a part of it. And just as a quick reminder, I've released 3 powerful videos that walk you through step by step how to do each one of these exercises. And for each video, I recommend you do 3 things. The first one is, of course, watch the entire video, download the training assets in the blueprint, do it, and then come back and leave your comment. It's really important to leave your comment. I'm giving away great prizes, and on top of that, it really shows that there's a sense of community and a movement that's being built, and everybody appreciates your comments. Also, before we jump into the questions, I want to encourage you, I'm going to be opening up the doors to my 5-week Broker Bootcamp training course in just a few days. And if you're not on my early bird list, I highly recommend that you get on there to get some of the unique bonuses that nobody else will get. If you want to be first in line, all you have to do is go to earlybrokerbootcamp.com. That's earlybrokerbootcamp.com. All right, so if you want to make sure that you get first in line, be sure to do that. Okay, I'm also going to announce the Kindle Fire winner right here in this video for the best comment and question that was submitted for this video. All right, let's jump right to the questions. The first one comes from Neil. Jeremiah, if you have a list of prospects or orphan leads and no emails, how can you send a stealth email? Neil, awesome question. The best service to use is called a data append service. And usually these companies within a 50 to 80% accuracy rate will take raw data that you have that has no email address and append to it. That would be the best and fastest way to do that. Now, one company I've used in the past is called Carney Direct. You can just look them up, C-A-R-N-E-Y, and they do that email append service. All right, the next question comes from Dwayne. My website seems to be a desert island in the middle of a vast internet ocean. How can I get my potential clients to see me from their 30,000-foot view, their daily busy lives, and entice them to land and taste my pineapples? Dwayne, I gotta tell you, that's a very unique analogy. I'll leave the pineapple analogy alone, but that's a really loaded question, and there's a couple of ways to do that. The first one is, if you have a budget, I'd recommend finding a crackerjack, like a really good search engine optimization consultant. Now, you got to be ready to pay for these guys. You're going to pay anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000 for the first month, and then anywhere from $2,500 on up for every subsequent month of service. You're going to need to commit to a strategy like this for anywhere from 6 to 12 months to really see long-term results. And with all the changes going on with Google, you got to be prepared to take this on as a long-term approach. Another strategy you could use, which will probably cost you less and you'll see more immediate results, is to do pay-per-click. Now, there's a couple of ways you can also do this. You can start doing pay-per-click through Google AdWords, where you're bidding on, I would suggest, long tail keywords, not the most competitive ones like auto quote or health quote or life quote, but maybe some long tail keywords like how do I get a life insurance quote or things like that. You might find a lower cost per click. You may also want to try Facebook Power Editor and LinkedIn sponsored ads. Both of those tools might cost you a little bit less than AdWords, and it's a little more manageable, and I really enjoy it for targeting. Hope that helps you, Dwayne, and all the best on those pineapples. The next question comes from Jim. I've had a good deal of success with the 9-word email. However, because it's a closed-ended question, some clients have simply answered yes or no. Hey Jim, that's exactly what you want. If somebody answers no, I would just thank them for their time and remind them that you're there for them. But if somebody answers yes to that email, you need to reply to them right away, get on the phone, and set an appointment so you can help them with their problem. That's exactly what the 9-word email is designed to do, is to elicit a quick response so that you can follow up. Pam asks, my question is how to find an honest-to-God quality lead person, program, or entity. Every asylum alumni is constantly contacting me with ridiculous schemes. Well, sorry, Pam, you've been a victim of all these asylum alumni. I'm going to recommend to you 2 vendors. I don't earn any overrides or commissions from recommending them, but the first one would be my alma mater, Prospect Zone. Now, if you're having difficulty with leads already, I would suggest you try one of their premium leads, which is, they're called exclusive leads, or live transfer leads, which are a little more expensive, anywhere from $20 to $30, but you're going to get people who are actively searching for insurance at that moment, and you can turn it on and off as you wish. So I'd give them a call and let them know Jeremiah sent you. The next one I would try would be Parasol Leads, and these leads work particularly well for independent brokers, and they offer a few more lead types than Prospect Zone does. They do life, auto, home, health, senior, Medicare. So depending on the type of program that you're selling or insurance you're selling, you may want to try them out. I've heard good results from various LinkedIn groups on their programs as well. Hope that serves you. The next question comes from Terry. I want to ask your opinion on where to get help drafting and coordinating automated email campaigns, specifically using Randy Schwantz's wedge principles. Essentially asking questions without the prospect feeling defensive to show how current agent is not doing as good as a job as I will. Well, Terry, Randy's got a phenomenal program, and you can definitely apply those wedge principles to email automation. What I would recommend you do is take the core questions that you ask as a consultative salesperson that are maybe from your scripts or your frameworks, and I would add them to your autoresponder sequence. Maybe set up a segment of maybe 7 emails just to start off so you can get it out of the way. The first email, I would take the first probing question. Maybe it's, did you know these 3 important facts about insurance? Or has your broker told you this lately? Again, you want to use the questions from Randy's wedge principles. Then what I would do is write a short email, very short, about that, so that it looks like it's a conversation that you're trying to have with them. Nothing more than, maybe 5 lines where you share a tidbit of information with them. Additionally, if these wedge principles translate well to a Word document, sometimes there's something really nice and official where you could take a core principle, maybe share a fact or a probing question, put it inside of a PDF document, and then share that through your autoresponder sequence. And this over time will help to sow those seeds of doubt that their broker is really not doing the best job that they could be. All right, hope that serves you. The next question comes from Alex. One less complicated question, how often should we contact our clients and the prospects in our database? We want to stay in front of people, but not annoy them. Alex, awesome question. I wish there was a flat out 100% accurate answer, but the truth is it's going to vary based on your campaign, the quality of your list, and the value of the message you have to convey. So for example, if you have something very valuable to share, and if it happens that you have to share 3 times that week, I would do it if it's going to affect their business or your client's use of the product. I can imagine with all that's going on with Obamacare, because I happen to know you're in the health insurance space, this might happen. Take a look at your metrics also. You want to make sure that you're always looking at your open rate and your click-through rate if you are indeed asking people to take action. If you're noticing that your open rates are steadily declining and your unsubscribes rate are steadily increasing, that's a good sign for you to kind of lay off a little bit. Another factor that may influence this is whether or not you're doing a campaign. So as you know, right now I'm in a campaign for launching the Broker Bootcamp. So sometimes you might hear from me 3 or 4 times a week, but that's because I'm in the middle of a campaign. After that, it'll kind of slow down a little bit. So what I would recommend is really the key barometer is to look at your analytics and just test often. You might find your clients might respond a little more than your prospects. So change your strategies and take segments of your list, like maybe 25% of your list, and test different approaches, timings, times of day, and then use that for the rest of your list as your own personal best practice. Okay, Harv asks, Jeremiah, of all the important aspects of marketing, what would you consider to be the most important to get yourself in front of the most number of prospects? Harv, that's an awesome question, and I love this because it's much more of a strategic question. The simplest, fastest, and easiest way to get in front of the most number of prospects is to build a strategic alliance. The first question you would ask yourself is, who has the prospect base that I want? And who has the most reputation, the best quality relationship with their list? And I would approach them first. And I would offer them value in exchange for doing the strategic alliance. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're a property and casualty agent in commercial lines, and you find that you work really well with software companies for whatever reason. So you've got a certain type of risk that you can underwrite there, and it works really well. What I would do is I would approach probably the most reputable software company association, and I would ask them if they would like to provide their members some valuable training, and I would give a value to it, like maybe $2,000 or $5,000, which could represent a body of research in the form of a white paper, a webinar, a video, a special report that you've created that you're going to give to them. So something like the top 5 strategies software companies use to minimize risk and save on insurance costs. And ask if they'd be willing to share this with their list. In some cases, you may have to pay for access. In other cases, you could work out a back-end deal where you pay a referral fee for every newly acquired client, or you might have to pay a small fee for every new lead that comes into your database. The beauty of this kind of relationship is that, one, you are already getting preemptive positioning because you're approaching them through a trusted authority. And that to me has always been the fastest, simplest, and easiest way to get the most amount of exposure to the right amount of prospects. The next question comes from Samuel. When you talk about uploading a video, I realize I'm supposed to know where I get this video. I've tried to create an account at Yahoo and it puts me in a loop. I have enrolled in a graphics design/web design course, and I assume at some point I will catch up to where I'm supposed to be. So I know you didn't overtly ask a question here, Samuel, but I do notice a couple of glaring issues I would like to offer to you for consideration. The first one is that with regards to the video is the video that you create. And if you go back to the first video training that we did called YouTube Marketing Mastery, we'll walk you through the entire process. The second thing I noticed is that you've enrolled yourself into a graphics design and web design course. Now, I want to applaud you as an insurance agent to have taken the guts to actually enroll in a program and learn an entirely new skill. However, I'm going to submit to you that your learning curve is going to be pretty high and you have a high chance of getting derailed. You're going to have to pay one way or another in order to get your marketing off the ground. You're going to pay either in your time or you can pay other people. So let me give you a quick resource that you could find a very high quality graphic designer at an affordable cost. The first one is Behance, and the second one is Dribble. And you can just look those up, behance.com and dribble.com. You have some fantastic graphic designers posting work. You can screen them, post a job, and then hire a quality graphic designer to do the work for you. If you were to sit down, Samuel, and actually look at how much money you make per hour, I would venture to say that you make a lot more than a graphic designer. And I think that you should never do something yourself if you can find someone else to do it faster, cheaper, and better than you can. All right, Samuel, hope that serves you and look forward to seeing your video. The next question comes from Yuget, and she asks, what would be the best way to promote my clients an umbrella insurance Because some clients may not have enough liability coverage for unforeseen events. That's a great question. And there's a sales strategy and there's a marketing promotion strategy. So I'm going to stick with the marketing promotion strategy for this course. What I would do is, let's say you're selling travel insurance and you've got, let's say, an umbrella policy that you want to offer. And after the first phone call, the client declines it. They feel that they're pretty good with it. What I would do is set up a simple autoresponder sequence, which you can add them into as soon as you get off the phone, that maybe once every couple of days wishes them well on their trip planning, and then shares a little scary story, a story that causes pain and doubt in their minds. Now, of course, you have to use this ethically, and I'm assuming that you're an ethical person and that you're going to use this not to manipulate people, but to really offer them something that is going to help protect them in terms of their travel. And in the first email, I might say something like, hey, I hope that your travel plans are going well. I wanted to share this quick story with you because I know at first you declined umbrella insurance, but that's what 90% of my clients do. But after they read this one story, most of them change their mind. And then I would put a little story of maybe a past client who traveled without umbrella insurance, had a disaster, had to be flown out, and it cost them a bunch of money. And then over time, the next one can share maybe a tip on packing or a tip on staying clean if you're going to foreign countries, and then share another quick story, another reminder. Again, the goal is to build value and give them compelling reasons why they should consider it, because ultimately it's in their best interest. Okay, you get? Hope that serves you. William writes in, of the 3 ways I've seen to market myself, I've had great responses off of the email version. But what is the most effective on average from the overall feedback you've received? Or is it a combination of the 3? Exactly, William. A multi-channel approach, or an approach where you use multiple channels to market to your prospects, is always the best approach. If you're only having one method of communication, your chances of success are limited. I'll give you an example of Chris Shepard, who posted a comment after video 2. He used a combination of the LinkedIn strategy and the YouTube strategy. He took the LinkedIn approach and included a link to one of his YouTube videos in there. And within, I think it was 20 minutes after sending those out, he just spent 20 minutes, he got 4 appointments, and one of them is going to lead to an $8,000 to $10,000 commission. So yes, the best recommendation is to use a combination of all 3. Jeremiah, the bootcamp in 2012 was awesome. Thanks, Terry. Question from your universe, what is the most profitable and productive idea that is working at this current time on a workable budget? Well, Terry, I know that you and I worked together on your agency back in the 2012 bootcamp, and I know that you're in the benefits space. Specifically, you're looking to help small business owners. I'll tell you something that's working really well right now. There's a huge void in communicating to CEOs and HR managers about the risks involved regarding private exchanges, defined contribution plans, people dropping coverage. And there's very few brokers out there that are using direct response methods, both online and offline, to send educational content to them. So for example, if you were to buy a simple list of the 10,000 small business owners in your area and send them a well-crafted letter written by a direct response copywriter, I'm sure that you will be impressed with the results. Something that invites people to take action, to call you for a report, a free consultation, or something of that nature. Or you can do it via email with LinkedIn sponsored updates or Facebook ads, targeting small business owners and giving them a digital asset. That's working really well. Kyle writes in, I don't have old clients or prospects. I need to build a new list, but I need to have them opt in. What is the best way to build an opt-in list? Kyle, awesome question. And I want to commend you for not having gone the route of buying a list of people and then trying to email them, which is going to cause you a world of hurt with spam. What I recommend is, one, you could use the first strategy I mentioned to Harv, which is to go out and find a strategic alliance and drive people to your opt-in page. The second option would be to buy traffic, which you can do through Google AdWords, Facebook ads, or LinkedIn sponsored updates. Another little known way is you can start testing media buys. There's tons of places online where you can buy media with specific targets. So for example, you want to go after small business owners, you want to go after independently wealthy people, you want to go after single moms, you want to go after seniors. You can go in and do media buys, and then your offer would be to have people to come and either get a quote, download a special report, watch a video, and then download a report. Those would be the best ways to build your own opt-in list. Cal writes in, a large portion of the middle market is convinced that the brokerage industry is a homogeneous pool of mediocrity. I couldn't agree with you more, Cal, but they trust in their current provider, since believing otherwise would be bad for their career. So how can we create the positioning to massively disrupt the status quo of comfortable best practices when we in fact have incredibly disruptive innovation? Cal, I want to thank you for this very thoughtful, highly strategic question. And there's 3 instant things that I would do if that's your case. The first one is I would thoughtfully articulate clearly in writing, by yourself or as a team, every single piece of disruptive innovation that you feel separates you from everyone else. Take away all of the fluff, anything that uses the words like excellence or service or quality or honesty or integrity, and really articulate down to the detail with precise numbers if you can, or quantifiable values, why you are so unique. The second thing I would do is go and interview my past clients, current clients, and non-clients, and ask them probing questions to find out what are the biggest pain points that they're having in their job, with their current provider, and with their current service. Something like, what's keeping you up at night? Questions around that nature. But you want to approach them from a research and development perspective, never calling from the sales department, because that will be a turnoff. And the third thing I would then do is I would take this data and I would link up their pains to the solutions that you offer and create a perfect match in their mind by taking something disruptive that you do, taking a problem, and then matching it up in compelling content. Finally, when I've created a master document that clearly outlines this so that you've created this in the view of your prospects, I would then start creating an educational drip campaign where I would address a lot of these pain points and how your disruptive innovations answer most of these problems. Now, Cal, so that you know, this is kind of a plug for my bootcamp, but the first module in the Broker Bootcamp, that's exactly what we do. And I actually walk you through a 6-step process where at the end of it, you have a complete document. You can share this with a marketer, a copywriter, your internal team, writers, video producers, anybody, so that everybody is working off of the same positioning arguments. And it's an entire session that we go through together in the Broker Bootcamp if you decide to be a part of it. Anthony writes in, why are agents being asked to complete or assist in completing this subsidy application for healthcare reform and assume the risk liability with minimal compensation? Agents will average maybe $10 an app and risk a lawsuit for an incorrect subsidy app submitted. Anthony, great question. You know what? I'm not an expert in healthcare reform, but I wanted to invite somebody who is. My good friend, award-winning innovator and founder of Health Partners America, Josh Hilgers. Josh is a savant when it comes to these things. So I took your question and I gave it to him, and he has graciously answered it in this format. Here's what Josh says. He says, brokers are able to make their full compensation from carriers for assisting someone purchasing health insurance with the financial assistance of a subsidy. The liability could be an issue. HPA gives brokers the chance to share in the revenue with none of the risk because of our call center with agents licensed and ACA certified in every state. Josh, I want to thank you for submitting that thoughtful reply to his question. And if you want to learn more about Josh Hilgers and his tools, training, and technology, his site is definitely worth a look, especially the new video that he just posted. You can check it out at healthpartnersamerica.com. Okay, I just wanted to interrupt this quick Q&A session with a really short but amazing agent success story that was sent to me late last night. This comes from Brian. He says, hi Jeremiah, I wanted to let you know that this morning in the early morning hours, I sent off 10 short emails as you suggested. By the time I made it to the office, I had 2 responses. One said she was feeling terrible and was looking forward to seeing me later in the week, and one who said she looked at her cash flow and could not start anything until after Christmas. I current dated the contract and asked that the payment not be taken until January 7th. One sale, $295.75 in my pocket. Do you realize that makes you the very first business advisor I have ever had that has helped me actually see a positive ROI? For the day, I wrote $652 of business. I'm working on my emails for tomorrow right now. Hey Brian, congratulations on using the 9-word email, and don't hesitate to send it beyond 10 people because I know you're going to have even more success. Thanks for sharing it, Brian. And hopefully, if you haven't sent your 9-word email yet, you're going to do that today. Okay, back to the question. Simon asks, do you have a script to send messages to all LinkedIn connections with a single click of the mouse? Simon, I don't have a script to do that. And there are a few companies that do that and charge a couple $100s a month to do so. But I would be very leery of them and talk to any of their clients first. The reason is LinkedIn is super strict about contacting your network, and there's even a certain limit of people that you should be contacting per day. Right now, 50 people a day is probably the safe limit you want to stay within. Or if you're going to be connecting with your own group, it would be about 200 messages a day would be the limit I would work with. That is a very risky proposition to put your LinkedIn reputation on the line and risk having them freeze or worse, shut down your account. A much better option, Simon, would be to find a virtual assistant by Googling virtual outsourcers and finding somebody for $8 to $10 an hour, giving them temporary access to your account and having them send the messages for you. Mark asks, what has fundamentally changed in the past 5 years and what does it mean to my business? As an agent or broker, how do I effectively compete in acquiring new customers in today's market? Mark, that's a great question. From my perspective, what I've seen is in the past 5 years, lead quality has gone down, consumer frustration has gone up, and broker frustration in terms of using internet leads has also gone up. Now, don't get me wrong, I think there's still some amazing quality lead companies out there that you could use to build part of a very effective core marketing strategy. But what it means to an agent or broker today is that to effectively compete, you need to start marketing yourself. You cannot rely simply anymore on lead programs. You have to start thinking outside of the box. All right, Mark? Hope that serves you. Robert asked a great question. What are some examples of the liability issues surrounding insurance marketing? Well, Robert, I'm going to have to pass this off to an attorney because I'm certainly not an attorney, and you'll need to get your own legal counsel to determine what you should and should not be doing in terms of marketing. However, I did do some research for you and I found a very helpful guide, and I posted a short link here for you to download it. You can go to bit.ly/INS marketing risk, and there's a 300-page report that will walk you through all the ins and outs by the type of insurance that you sell. Okay? Hope that helps. Next, I wanted to invite one of my good friends and best-selling author, Rob Liano, who blogs at robliano.com and is probably one of the best insurance sales trainers I've ever met. And I had a couple of questions that were more of a sales nature, so I've asked him to come over and guest answer these questions for you. Betsy asks, what is the best way to move the conversation beyond price to the value-added differentiators? Well, Betsy, here's Rob's answer. There are specific ways to design the presentation and the needs analysis to address this. But in a nutshell, one way to move beyond price is to, in the beginning of a call, ask what benefits they want in a policy and what makes a carrier reputable to them. Then, when making an offer, they can build value by hitting those hot buttons by simply offering the factors they wanted. This way, the price they get is exactly or as close to what they wanted. And always give price last after you present all of the benefits. Rob, great answer to Betsy's profound question. I appreciate your thoughts. But don't go away because Sean also asks a sale question, which is how to effectively cold call clients for Aflac. Well, Sean, here is an answer from award-winning author Rob Liano. When cold calling anyone, the most important thing to overcome is fear and dial. So that takes preparation, which brings confidence. So first, you must craft a very concise and effective opening line that will either qualify interest or allow you to move on to the next call. For instance, with health insurance, I'd cold call and say, is the cost of health insurance giving you a headache? Most consumers would laugh, get the point of my call, and say yes or no. Those that said yes gave me an opportunity to work with them. Those that said no, I'm good, allowed me to move on. You must qualify the prospect or you're wasting time. Hope that serves you. All right, now there's a bonus lesson I wanted to share with you, as promised, about are you a giver or are you a taker? And this is two different replies that I got from two equally amazing top producers. So the first top producer replied to my email and he said, if you could ask me anything about insurance marketing, what would it be? So he copied the question I asked him. And then he replied, I have generated over 1 million leads, recruited and trained over 5,000 insurance reps, produced over 110 million in premium. What questions do you have? So that was his way of sharing with me that he is also very successful. He's generated lots of leads and lots of revenue. What was interesting to me, though, is that there was nothing of value in the comment. Now, I don't know whether he was simply posturing or sending over a tongue-in-cheek comment, and I'm sure he was doing it with the best intentions. However, there was really no value in this comment by a top producer. Now, I did reply to him for the record, and I asked him if he had to start all over again, what is the one thing he would do to get back on top? And I still have yet to receive a reply. However, I wanted to contrast this with another top producer. Now, this top producer, Joe, I know personally. I know that in a single month, he earns more commissions than most brokers do in an entire year. However, you meet this guy, he's totally down to earth, he's humble, and he's always willing to share what he learns. And he posted a very thoughtful comment that gives an insight into his business. In a nutshell, without reading everything, because you can see it on the comments in the blog, he talked about that he's graduated from just calling people from a one-call close to using offline nurturing efforts like sending out postcards, using QR codes to go to video online, and how he's filtering those leads now and passing those filtered leads onto his staff that is on the phone. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was an interesting contrast. Two very successful producers, one who who sent a tongue-in-cheek comment, and another one who sent a very valuable comment who wants to share. And this underlines a very core strategy in marketing. If you want to be seen, known, and respected as an authority, you must always give more value than you expect to receive back. And you know what? If you come from a place of abundance in life, that there's more than enough opportunity for anybody, and that's truly the place that I come from. I know it's the place that Joe comes from, that it will work out very well for you in your marketing career. So hope you enjoyed that little bonus lesson. Okay, now I wanted to give you a special strategy which you can use for your next YouTube video, which hopefully you're learning as I'm doing this video. It's called the Stealth Q&A Content Strategy. Many times you might be frustrated or stuck knowing what to say, knowing what to write, or knowing what to produce for the community that you're serving. Well, take a cue from what I just did. Remember, I asked you what were your biggest questions related to marketing. Couldn't you do the same thing for your insurance audience? What are your toughest questions around Obamacare, around commercial lines, around life insurance, around annuities, around travel insurance, and then offer to make a video to your list? In essence, ask your audience what problems they're having, create content around that so you're absolutely nailing their issues, gaining appreciation and authority. Then you can do many things with that. I'm sharing this with you simply in video format, but then you can have it transcribed, turn into several different blog posts. You can spin it into a report, into a white paper. You can record it and make it an on-demand webinar that people have to opt into. There's so many different ways to reuse content. Okay? Hope that little strategy serves you. All right, now just another reminder, if you're not on my early bird list, be sure that you do so. Go to earlybrokerbootcamp.com because in just a few days, I'm going to be taking down all this free training and I'm going to be launching the Broker Bootcamp, giving special preference to those that are on the early bird list. So make sure you're on that list by going to earlybrokerbootcamp.com. Finally, I want to introduce you to the Kindle Fire winner. So we're going to be sending a brand new Kindle Fire to the best comment and question. And maybe you could sense my sense of excitement from the questions and comments that were submitted. Maybe you've already guessed who it is. Well, I'd like to introduce you to Cal. Cal, I think you deserve the winner for the best question because it was the most strategic question that was asked. While a lot of times we do want to focus on tactics so we can get immediate results, ultimately, the biggest and greatest impact you'll have in your finances is by having a powerful long-term strategy and a very well thought out strategic position. And I thought that your question really brought all of that together beautifully. So Cal, our staff will be in touch with you and we'll get you that Kindle Fire off right away. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. All right, well, that's the end of the questions. I appreciate you taking the time to send all these great questions to me. Hopefully they served you and inspired you to take action. Enjoy the time with your loved ones. If you're traveling or spending time with folks over the next few days, please enjoy that time. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the final video that will be released in just a few days.